y'all, it's Colton from Peace, Love, and Happiness Club, and today I'd like to talk to you about orchids. So a lot of people tend to think that orchids are kind of a scary plant, that they don't want to bring them into their home because they're going to be more trouble than they're worth. That's not at all true. It's all in the care. If you do it right, your orchid will thrive. The fossil record suggests that orchids have been around for at least 100 million years. They are an incredibly diverse plant species. In fact, they are the largest flowering plant family. They range in size from weighing up to 100 pounds all the way down to the size of a mere dime. That's tiny. But you know, when you live 100 million years, you learn. And except for in areas of extreme heat and extreme cold, they will grow and thrive pretty much anywhere in the world. Another lesser known fact about orchids, there is only one variety of orchid that is commercially used around the world: vanilla. Vanilla planifolia is, in fact, an orchid. Most people are not aware that they get their ice cream flavors from an orchid. The vanilla flavor is extracted from the pod of the bloom once the orchid does reach its flowering stage. Generally, orchids love bright to bright indirect light. So east-facing windows and south-facing windows will be your best bet when you're caring for the orchid. Orchids also prefer it more on the humid side. 40 to 60% humidity is going to be ideal for most orchids. And it's going to help a lot if you can keep them in an area that has a temperature ranging from about 60 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, if you live in a dry climate, misting is going to be key to keep that humidity factor as close as possible to what the orchid requires. Generally, it's not going to be more than a misting a day. Not too difficult, but it will require a little bit more attention than just a standard houseplant. Most orchids need almost weekly watering, but do not overwater. You don't want to run the risk of root rot. Some well-draining soil will help mitigate that root rot factor, as well as drainage pots. Drainage pots will be your best friend for an orchid. A well-draining soil may consist of bark or coconut husk. Something that is water retentive but also very well draining is going to be great for the roots of an orchid. You can see here we've actually positioned this orchid onto a kokedama ball. You can dunk this kokedama moss ball into water, just a quick, let it soak a second, pull it back out, and hang it back up to dry. Or you can mist it very heavily, get it soaking wet. Another key thing about orchids is going to be fertilizer. Orchids get hungry and they need to be fed regularly. Using an equal distribution fertilizer, such as a 20-20-20, will be most ideal for your orchid. If you can't get the 20-20-20, pretty much any other fertilizer that you use for your houseplants is going to be just fine. An interesting thing about orchids that might send people into a fit of rage anytime they have an orchid and it seems to die immediately: the leaves. So the leaves of an orchid should actually not resemble the dark, lush green that you expect from normal houseplants. Orchids tend to have a grassy or light medium green color is going to be the key identifier of a healthy orchid leaf. If your orchid's leaves become leathery and wrinkled, that's going to be a sign that they are not getting enough water. And as I said about these beautiful blooms, you know, they can last for a very long time. However, what goes up must come down. So a bloom will fade away eventually. When it does, and you want to make sure that your orchid does rebloom, all you'll do is cut the flower spike near the base of the stem. So there's really no reason to be afraid of these little guys. They're not difficult to care for, plus they are beautiful. But that's all I got for you today. I hope to see you all next week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram. We'll see you soon. Peace out.